PlayStation, Xbox, Jeff Keighley, Nintendo, what do all four of those things have in common? Well, they all had showcases that they wanted to give to the people, and I'm here to talk about all of them. Let's go through them as they happened, starting with PlayStation State of Play. In terms of my highlights for this show, Wolverine, Control Resonant, Rayman Legends Retold, Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis, God of War Lofi. Those were the five that I really have my eyes on and I want to play whenever they come out. Starting with Wolverine, I was a little surprised at first because they showed him stealthing around and I wasn't expecting that at all. I just expected it to just be all action all the time, and they started with him sort of sneaking around a little bit. It was weird, but it quickly got to what we were all sort of expecting this to be, just a bloody mess. The team over in Insomniac knows what they're doing when it comes to combat. I mean, the foundation was built in the old Arkham games. I know that was not them, that was Rocksteady, but it is basically the same idea. Let's not get it twisted. It's a tried and true formula. The Spider-Man games showed that. Those were a couple of my favorite games over the last couple of generations of PlayStation, and I can't wait for Wolverine. Give this to me. Hand it to me. I will eat it up. I will eat it up. Next on my personal highlights was Control Resonant. I haven't even played the first Control, but this game looks so cool. I feel like I'm really gonna need to play Control so I can get sort of the gist of the world and everything going on, because from what I saw, the art style, character design, so I guess I should specify enemy design, the landscape, the environment, it just looks so cool. It's a world that I want to walk around and explore in. It's truly a game where, even though I've not played many Remedy games, like I mentioned, I've not played the first Control, I never finished Alan Wake 1 and I haven't even tried Alan Wake 2. All games which have mass acclaim and I really need to sort of tick off of my list at some point in time, but everyone's backlogs nowadays are crazy. We'll see when that happens, but we'll see later on. But this game got a different sort of look in trailer at Summer Games Fest, with on it, which honestly I thought was better and intrigued me a lot more than this one at the State of Play did. September 24th, we'll be getting Control Resonant. Probably not a day one pickup for me because Wolverine is just the week before, but definitely something I have my eyes on. Next on my list is Rayman Legends Retold. I love a mascot. I love a 2D platformer, 3D platformer. And Rayman seems to be one of those series that has garnered a lot of praise in more recent years. I don't know what it was like when the series or the character first came out, but it really feels like Rayman Legends specifically got a lot of praise in recent times. It's just one of those platforming series that I've never tried, and I really feel like I'm missing out. It seems like it's an underrated gem. Not too much more to say about this. It seems right up my alley. Coming out October 1st. Would love to get my hands on it. And then we have Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis. I loved the modern Tomb Raider trilogy. I know this isn't the same actress. The character seems to be going back to her roots a little bit, which I love because I never played the original Tomb Raider trilogy. And so getting this in a more modern setting, or at least on a more modern console, not necessarily setting, is going to be really interesting to me. Maybe I'll pick up the Tomb Raider Classic Trilogy that came out not too long ago. It's not necessarily too high on my list of things to do. I'm excited to see where they'd go with this game. It seems like a little bit more over the top. Character has a little bit more attitude rather than being more of that very serious character that we got in the modern trilogy. So it looks like it may just generally be, from a character standpoint, a little more fun. As of right now, we're getting that February 12th, 2027. And then the last big highlight of the show was God of War Lofi. When I saw Kratos and Atreus walk up, I got really nervous because in my head, I was so sure that the next game in the series was going to focus on Atreus and Atreus was going to be the main playable character. I don't like Atreus. He's such an annoying, complaining, whining little bitch. But when they showed Faye, all my worries gone, dust in the wind. I was so happy about this. I can't wait to see more of this game. I don't know when we'll get a release date, but this will be a day one pickup for me. She looks so fun to play as in the trailer, in the gameplay that we got to see. Anyone who's being weird about it, go fucking touch grass. You're not real. As for a few other games from the show that I kind of have one eye on, rather than, saying I'm gonna definitely play these. Ill, Not because it doesn't look good, just because it looks gruesome and scary, and I don't often do well with scary. It's a little bit towards the bottom of my list, but God, does it look good. It looks weird, it looks gruesome, I'm intrigued. I'm just gonna wait for more. Mori, Paranormal Hunter, Yokai Hunter, another one where I'm just sort of waiting to see more. Looks interesting, again, something that I'll keep one eye on. Not at the top of my list by any means. No Rest for the Wicked is one I've had my eyes on for a while now. Ever since I first found out about it. It's Moon Studios, the team behind the Ori games, which I loved. It's a much different direction than the Ori games. Early access for the game seemed a bit up and down in terms of its reception, but I hope now that the 1.0 is actually coming out, we really see that they got their feet planted and we get a good game out of it. Of these extra games that I sort of just have one eye on, it's sort of towards the top of that list. And then my surprise of the entire show was Stuntman Hollywood. Of all the IPs that are just stuck collecting dust in PlayStation's vault. I don't even think this is a PlayStation exclusive, but just for the sake of it, let me run here. Of all the IPs stuck in the vault, Stuntman is the one they brought back. I'm not mad about it. It never crossed my mind. I would have forgotten this series, this franchise existed entirely had it not shown up here. I'm not dying to play this, but it surprised me so much that I can't help but just keep some amount of attention on it and just see where this goes. It kind of caught me with a left hook. I was like, Stuntman? Of all things? We'll see, I guess. There was some other noteworthy stuff on the show too, like Phantom Blade, Onimusha, Until Dawn 2, Silent Hill Townfall. But truthfully, while those are big games, they're just not ones that I see moving up on my list anytime soon. If at some point I wind up playing any of these games, then so be it, but I think it's going to take a lot of convincing for me to do so. So now we move on to Summer Games Fest. And this was a little bit of a weird one for me because Summer Games Fest had a lot of cool stuff, and I mean a lot of cool stuff, but not a lot that I feel like I really need to play personally. We'll go through it. The big announcements: Resident Evil Veronica and Final Fantasy VII Revolution. Start with Resident Evil Veronica. This is a game that's been teased for a little while. If you keep up with gaming news to any capacity, you probably know this one may have been coming. I know almost nothing about this entry in the series. I don't really know much about this entry in the series. I know you're Claire Redfield. Apparently you're in France. I didn't know that. I learned that in this trailer. Resident Evil is a series I only really got into since the COVID days, but in that short amount of time, it's a series that I've really grown quite fond of, and I'm excited about this. Anything sort of Resident Evil that's not an FPS game or some weird spin-off like Operation Raccoon City, give it to me. I'm cool. Still need to finish Requiem. It is what it is. I'll get to it. Great trailer, no notes. Final Fantasy VII Revelation. Did I say Revolution before? This is the third and final installment in Resident Evil, Jesus Christ, in the Final Fantasy VII remake trilogy. And this is kind of besides the point, but did it feel like this is turnaround time between Rebirth and Revelation was surprisingly fast? It's really not when you look at it, because between remake and Rebirth it was about 4 years, and now between Rebirth and Revelation it'll be about 3. But for whatever reason, it felt like the time we waited for Rebirth was a lot longer than the time we waited for Revelation. I've not played remake or Rebirth, and so this is kind of also being tucked into the backlog right now until I get to them. But it's such a big announcement that I can't really ignore it. It's still at the top of my list for Summer Games Fest. A couple of things that are just below those two. We're getting 2 new Cuphead games. We not only got announced that there's going to be a sequel to the original Cuphead, so Cuphead 2, we don't know if there will be a different name for it, but we're also getting a little bit of an appetizer to it, an 8-bit Cuphead. I'm assuming the 8-bit Cuphead will come out before Cuphead 2. If I'm wrong about any of this, please let me know in the comments. It'll be much appreciated. We got a really quick look at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin. They sacked off the movie, but we're still getting the game. Thank God. I really like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and this is going to be seemingly a little bit more of a gritty, violent version rather than the silly, goofy turtles that maybe I'm accustomed to. But it just looks like it's going to kick so much
ass.
Platinum Games, who worked on Bayonetta, Nier Automata, and Ninja Gaiden 4 is on this, so the combat's going to be fun as hell. There's no questions about that. I'm just looking more to see what they're going to do with the rest of the game. Here's to hoping it lives up to the excitement that I have for it, but yeah, really happy that this showed up. Lastly, Star Wars Galactic Racer. We've known this one was coming for a while. It's slated to come out October 6th of this year. Definitely saw the influences of Burnout from those devs that worked on it, who are now part of this studio that's creating this game. I don't know if it'll be a day one purchase for me, but it's definitely something I'm going to get my hands on at some point. Aside from that, here are some games that I felt were noteworthy enough for me to mention, but maybe not at the top of my list. Stellar Blade, again. We saw it at State of Play. They showed it again here at Summer Games Fest. Alien Isolation 2. I said that fucking weird. The Wolf Among Us 2. Guild Wars 3. Gundam Rogue Orbit. Blood of the Dawnwalker. 1666 Amsterdam. And is it Hakes? Hex? H-A-E-X. I don't know. It's the team that I believe made The Division, so probably an extraction shooter. It looked really weird. Of those sort of at the bottom of my list for Summer Games Fest, the two that I'm maybe keeping more of an eye on are Blood of the Dawnwalker and 1666 Amsterdam. And even after all of that, we still have 2 more shows to get through. The Xbox Games Showcase. After so many underwhelming Xbox showcases, I can't believe I'm saying this. I think Xbox won the week for me. I know, it's crazy. I don't even own an Xbox. What am I gonna do? I mean, I guess I could try and play on PC Game Pass if they put some of these on there. Let's just move on to some of the highlights here. Gears of War E-Day. I guess I'm gonna have to play on my PC. It might run like shit. I was never really like the biggest Gears of War guy, but everything they've shown about E-Day, I'm hooked. What can I do? They showed off a lot of gameplay. The environment, the city, seeing all that kind of being just decimated in real time was awesome to see. If you're gonna check out anything from the Xbox showcase and you haven't yet, it's this. Go look at Gears of War E-Day. And this is really where I feel like we're starting to see a shift in Xbox, because where I feel like a year ago, this game would have been coming out across multiple platforms, Xbox just said, nope, we're keeping it right here. It's not going anywhere. Console exclusive, which makes me a little worried, because does that mean it's not coming to PC Game Pass? Because if so, can't really warrant buying an Xbox just for this, even though I really want to play it, but we'll see how the cookie crumbles there. October 6th is when everyone will be able to get their hands on this game. And they immediately followed that up with Fable. Fable is a series I have almost no experience in, but I can't help but be intrigued by it. Everything they've shown for this latest entry has just gripped me with both hands and will not let go. We got to look at the main antagonist here. Awesome trailer. This game's coming out February 2027. Honestly, I can't wait for it. This is where this showcase really won me over. We not only got a look at Persona 4 Revival, but they announced Persona 6. Real quick, Persona 4, I've never played it. The only Persona game I finished is Persona 5. I'm actively playing Persona 5 Royal right now because the one I beat was the original vanilla version. And so now I gotta play 5 Royale because it kind of climbed really quickly up the top of my list of favorite games ever. I used to think I would never like JRPGs only because of the turn-based combat system. And Persona 5 is the game that changed that for me. I would trust Atlus with my life at this point. I played Metaphor ReFantazio last year. I loved that. Not as good as Persona 5 in my opinion, but it was still an awesome game. Can't wait to get my hands on Persona 4 Revival. I really cannot wait to see more of Persona 6. They didn't give us much. They kind of just told us that it was going to be supernatural, maybe a little darker than the past games in that sense, but I can't wait to see more of it and what they do with the whole supernatural tone of it all. Now, a couple other things I'm keeping my eye on. Metro 2039. I've not played a Metro game, but seeing this made me want to go play Metro Exodus. I believe that is the most recent Metro game. If not, it's the Metro game that I kind of see pop up the most. I find it really hard to get excited about FPS games nowadays because there just seems to be one. They're like flies in the Everglades. They're just everywhere. But I'd be lying if I said this didn't look interesting. As I kind of mentioned, it made me want to go back and play a past Metro game like Exodus. It's slated for February 2027, so now even February is starting to sort of get a little clogged up with games, but I'm looking forward to seeing more about it. Now, maybe the weirdest game in the entire week of shows is Join Us. It is a cult city community builder thing. I don't know. This was so all over the place. It might be the most ridiculous thing we saw all week. It doesn't even look like something I would enjoy. I'm very hesitant to say that I'll play it at all. If a game's trailer is meant to kind of catch your eye, it got my attention, so who am I to ignore it? We got another quick look at Castlevania Belmont's Curse. It's a game that we've known about for a little while. I'm heavily anticipating it. I didn't put it at the top of my list just because we've known about it for quite a while now. Not much else to say about it. I was just happy to see more. It's coming out in October. Now, a game that really caught my eye was Vivarium. Apparently, it was announced maybe a year or two ago. This is the first I've seen of it. Hands down, it's taking the prize for prettiest trailer I saw all week across all the shows. Looks really cool. Apparently you're in a town within a vivarium. Just a little cozy slice of life game. Can't complain about it. Can't wait to see more. Other things I'd be remiss to not mention from the show. We got another look at Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. It's a Call of Duty game. What else is there to say? We're getting a new Spyro, A Realm Beyond. Always nice to see that purple little gem lover flying around. It might not be my favorite series from the era of mascot games. I do still have a little place in my heart for the guy. A game called Where Winds Meet shadow dropped on this showcase, and they announced a DLC for July, so good for anyone who is really excited about that. Looks intriguing enough. We saw Crazy Taxi, one of the games that Sega announced within slate of games that they're working on. We got a look at some DLC for Doom the Dark Ages. They're working on a new Senua game. I believe this will be the third one in the series. They showed off State of Decay 3, big game for Xbox. I know, not personally a big State of Decay guy, never played any of them, but something for the people. Some new content for Halo Campaign Evolved, and a new Plague's Tale game called Resonance. I'm sure there's a few other things in there. If there's anything from this showcase that I didn't mention that you're excited about, let me know below. And lastly, we got Nintendo Direct. Now, Nintendo Directs normally go this way for me. 1, 2, 3 games that I'm excited for, and the rest is just kind of stuff that isn't for me, which is fine. And that's kind of pretty much exactly how this went. The games that caught my eye, Orbitals they showed off. It looked like a great little co-op game. Love the art style of it. Slated to come out in September. We got another little look at the Star Fox remake that's coming later this month. We got a really quick look at Dusk Bloods. This is really just to sort of announce that they're doing a closed network test. So unfortunately, it wasn't any real look at the game. Got a new look at Kingdom Hearts 4. Again, pretty quick gameplay trailer. Kingdom Hearts fans, I'm sure you're very excited. But I'm still keeping my eye on things on that one. I'm never really got into Kingdom Hearts, so maybe this will be the one that makes me want to try them out. But lastly, boy, it's real. Ocarina of Time remake is real. Been rumored, but it's actually coming. I don't even have a Switch 2. And this might make me get one. Truthfully, we'll see what these price increases, what I'm willing to do with my wallet, but I'm excited to see more about this game because just from the little bit we saw of Link, it looks like this game is going to be gorgeous. There's a few highlights from the Direct that I would feel remiss not to have mentioned. Pokopia is getting DLC and a free update. The free update is an underwater thing, but there's paid DLC for the underwater. I haven't played it. As I mentioned, I don't even have a Switch 2, so maybe the people that play it understand it, but it seemed a little weird to me to have a free update for water stuff, but also paid DLC for the water stuff. The DLC is part of an expansion pass that's going to cover 3 updates, this being one of them, some new features later on in the year, and then I believe another new town in 2027, so if you're excited about that, happy for you. Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. I know this is a big franchise for Nintendo. I'm not a big tactical guy myself, so it's not on my list. This is always a big thing for Nintendo, so the trailer looked cool. Hope everyone who's waiting on this game enjoys it. They announced all 3 mainline Xenoblade games are coming to the Switch 2, along with a brand new Xenoblade game. Splatoon fans are getting a brand new treasure hunting Splatoon game, so not PvP this time. And then the newest chapter in the Deltarune games is coming out. That's cool. That kind of wraps up everything that I wanted to mention from this ungodly week of gaming news and showcases. There's a lot to be excited about. If there's anything that I missed from any of the shows, or that I didn't mention from any of the shows that you're excited about, leave me a comment. I'd love to hear about it. Tell me what you're most excited about. It seems like this fall and early winter 2027, we're gonna be eating real good. Leave a like if you enjoyed this style of content. Doing something like this was a first for me, and so I'd love the feedback. I appreciate y'all. Subscribe. Have a good one. Bye.